A pair of mysterious, powerful god devils baby were accidentally lost on Earth by mistake. They meet Chinlan, an ordinary university student. Chinlan, who's lived the life of both a father and a mother. However, the power in the two girls' bodies were too strong, leading to praying eye of the evil organization Blood Moon. They send evil monk Two Man, who has a 5 billion bounty from Interpol, to steal immortal demon baby. Two Man sucked Chinlan's group into his blood domain. I will show you my real strength. And he opened his mouth wide. A dark red ball of blood flies out in his mouth. Then it slowly grows bigger in the air. Then a naked baby appeared, floating in a ball of blood. Shu Qing was in a cold sweat. The firstborn leave the house. The gods travel beyond the sky. When did you break through to the divine journey, Lilam? Two Men said, just break through less than a month ago. Miss Shu is my first opponent after my breakthrough. Without waiting for Shu Qing's reaction, he immediately used his original magic weapon, the bloodthirsty seal of Moro. Two Men's bizarre baby holding the Moro bloodthirsty seal. It burst out with a strong undercurrent of energy. The mouth of the firstborn floating blood energy inject into the magic treasure. The bloodthirsty seal of Moro become bigger and bigger with the blood energy. Suddenly, there was a boom. Before Shu Qing could react, the blood stain had already hit her chest. Qing flew backwards in response to the sound. The apricot forest slowly disappeared without Su Qing's magic support. At that moment, Two Men who had defeated Su Qing slowly came to Qinglan and the others, and he did not say anything. He waved his scepter directly in his hand. A purple energy hit Qinglan right in the chest and sent him flying. Blood spit out of his mouth. Seeing this scene, Yan and Qi cried in terror and ran to their father. Two Men smiled proudly at this moment. Gods and demons baby is mine. Then he continued to wave the scepter in his hand. Then the ground suddenly sprang up with several blood-colored vines rising to the sky. Yan and Ji were flaming entangled in the air, with the vine still tightening little by little. Yan and Qi, unable to move, began to have difficulty breathing. All they could do was cry out helplessly for their father. Seeing that no one can stop me anymore, Two Men scream out in a frenzy, "Fuck the blood moon. I want to become immortal. I want to be the master of world." At this moment, Qinlan climbed hard to the vine. "Please don't hurt my daughter." But now he is so big, knocked out once again by Two Men. Seeing that hurts again, Yan and Qi were crying out of their father in pain. Their hearts were filled with helplessness and despair. And in this helplessness and despair, Yan and Qi, two bodies of the power of the gods and demons, burst. Two shadows rose up to the sky. This one wore a purple dress, aura of fairy. The beautiful and unconventional woman is the former life of Qinyan, God's realm, Holy Virgin Murongyan. The woman with the boar robe and the feather fan, it was Qi's previous life, the saintly maiden of the demon world, Lan Qingning. At this moment, Lan Qing straight the feather fan in her hand. A green divine word flew out straight to Two Men. He howled in pain. The bounded Two Men was very shocked at this point. They were just two phantoms of the real gods and demons. Why is this such a coincidence? Without waiting for another response from him, Murongyan also raised a sword in his hand with the whoosh of sword energy. Thunderclap. Just one sword, Two Men disappeared from the world in reluctance and despair. And then Murongyan slashed a few more swords and there was a vortex in the sky. Lan Qingning carried them and threw them in. Qinlan and the other were thrown back to the original place with a flutter. After returning to the hospital, Qinlan asked fearfully Dr. Shu, "Who are those people? Why did they capture Yan and Ji?" To explain this, you first need to understand the basic practice of immortal cultivators. Have you ever heard of immortal tribulation? Is that what Babnoval is talking about? When you reach a certain stage of cultivation, you will be struck by lightning. Can a person who has passed the immortal tribulation become an immortal? Shu Qing nodded and said, "All thought not comprehensive enough, but thunderbolt is indeed one of the most common way of immortal tribulation. There are many ways to cultivate immortality in the world. Different methods also have their own benefit, but the root of it is the same. It's all about bringing in the spiritual energy of heaven and earth into the body, and then refining this spiritual energy into true energy. The more true elements in a cultivator's body, the stronger his cultivation will be. When immortal cultivation reach a certain level, it will trigger an immortal tribulation. The immortal tribulation is extremely dangerous. Less than 1% of people succeed in crossing the tribulation. But there are benefits of immortal tribulation. It refines the true elements in the immortal body into immortal elements. Immortal energy is also known as force. According to its yin and yang properties, it can be divided into God's power and demon's power. Each of the two powers is useful. If the immortal energy in the body of an immortal practitioner accumulate to the certain level, then they will be guided by the upper world to become a part of gods and demons of the heaven. But what does this have to do with me and Yan and Jing? Jing said, according to my guess, the three of you were probably gods and demons from the upper world in your past life, and even in the upper world you are all the strongest. Jing thought to himself, more than powerful of the three of you, one is a divine emperor and the other two are holy maidens. I am afraid that there is no strong gods and demons in the upper world than you. General reincarnation of gods and demons, the immortal energy in the body will automatically dissipate before re-entering the reincarnation. But the cultivation of the three of you in your previous life was too high, has reached the realm of eternal immortality. So when you were incarnated, your immortal energy did not dissipate, but it was sealed in your body and followed you to the mortal world. The freshman Chinlan then asked, even if the three of us have what you call immortal energy in our bodies, but what does that have to do with the people who are trying to kill us? Su Ching covered his forehead and said in depressed voice, I have made it so clear. Don't you get it? You're too stupid. The body of mortal is true energy. In the upper world, the body of the gods and demons is immortal energy, and you three have ready-made immortal energy in your bodies. At this point, Chinlan said in a depressed voice, you mean those people just absorb the immortal energy in our body so they don't have to go through the tribulation, immediately become immortals? Yes, that's it. So we are now delicious food. Whoever sees us want to come up and take a bite. Su Ching consoled, don't be too pessimistic. At least those famous sect to take into account, the face will not take shot at you. The main thing is to guard against loose monks and evil monks. Dr. Shu, you are also an immortal cultivator, right? Why don't you just observe our immortal energy? I will be able to live a normal life with Yan and Chi fingers. I am afraid that's not going to work. The immortal energy in your body has become one with you. Once it is observed, you will die. The only way to do it now is you have to get stronger to better protect your daughter. Looking at the two kids who are still dreaming of eating fried chicken, Chinlan has made up her mind. With free eyes, he said, Dr. Shu, I want to practice immortality. I want to protect my daughter. Please do teach me. Next day, Zindan, why are you suddenly going on a business trip? I had to go out of a town on a temporary assignment. You take care of Yan and Chi at home. Wait for me to come back. See Chinnan hang up the phone. Next to the chief, uncle said, Chinnan, you don't have to come along on this mission. It's okay, chief. This trafficker is my catch. I am also in charge of the interrogation. I know her best. I should have gone there for a reason. The director saw that Chinnan insists on going and did not say much. He took out a sign with the word Chang on it and said, I don't think this person could be involved in the Chang's ghost market. This is the big case that the leader above have been watching for the whole 5 years. We are going to have our hands full this time. Chinlan, who just finished making a phone call, saw a luxurious car honking its horn and coming rapidly. Shu Ching rolled down the window and said, get in the car. I am going to take you to the place. I am going to start teaching you tonight. Shu Ching then drive Chinlan and the other deep into the mountain. At this point, Chinlan asked curiously, Dr. Shu, where are we going here? Shu Ching Fang Mountain, outside Longjing village, west of the city. I have a cave there. The four of them soon come to the foot of the mountain somewhere. I have to say, Dr. Shu's car is parked a bit illegally. Shu Ching snapped his finger at this point. Then a white cloud lifted them up. This scared Chinlan, who was flying in the cloud for the first time, almost fell off the ground. The two little girls were curious to see the cloud that could lift people up. Shu Ching saw Chinlan's scared look and knowingly increased the speed of flight. Just for a little while, a few people arrived outside a quaint look on the plaque where the words apricot grown immortal house. At this point, Shu Ching turned what appeared to be a combination lock. Then he led them inside. This cave was left behind by a senior of transcrimination realm. The predator failed to cross the tribulation and his form was destroyed. I see that there is a good spiritual vine at the back of this cave that is good for cultivation. So I am staying here temporarily. Then Shu Ching pushed open the door. The moment the door opened, Shu Ching was dumbfounded. Damn, I forgot to tidy the room. At this point, Zi asked her with an unidentified object that looked like two coconut shells. Dad, what do you think it is? Yan, on the other hand, was carrying a pair of underpants with a smile. She pinches her nose in disgust. Chinlan said with an embarrassed face, "This is Auntie's Ching dress. Don't you guys move around." At this point, Shu Ching forced himself to explain with a red face. "What's wrong? I am a new age girl too, okay? What's wrong with a more modern style of decoration?" Then she hurriedly pulled away from the topic and said, "Forget about my room for now. I will take you to the spirit wind first, formal start of cultivation." Just Su Ching pressed a button on the door and with a swish, a secret door opened. At this point, the three of them shouted like they would never seen the world before. So that's awesome. If you want part 3, destroy the like button and subscribe for more.